Welcome back from the break. It's still Kim Chadorin, and we are here with Mr. Dickson Tumramye, who is a parenting coach, marriage counselor, head of Honors College, Uganda Christian University Mukono, and also the ED for Hope Regeneration Africa. We're talking about raising generational ethical consciousness. Whatever is happening right now in your backyard, in your house, we get to see some of these viral, topics, viral videos really that get out there, and you're saying, how dare this child talk back to the parent? Yes? How dare this child come up lavishly and say, I can buy all of you, keep quiet. This kid is talking to an adult, I can buy all of you. How has this parent been raised? But also when it comes down to some of the things that we were talking about, let's even get back to how our children, the generation that we are raising, can be able to come up uprightly, know that this Mabat is here. We are meant to go to Karamoja, please let them go to Karamoja. Do not divert them and then get into a spending, a bonanza, party bonanza, calling your different colleagues, come and I give you. You who is being called, don't you have any inclination, any small thing in your mind that is telling you that this is not right? Yes, so you were talking about, let me just recap, challenge the rotten systems, yes? Because the rotten systems are around us. You go to the particular job, they want you to go to Kitu Kidogo. Right now, with the districts service commissions,
vomit.
You must. That has also been highlighted as well. You must live within your means, so that you are not seeking to live like this other person who is earning 50 million, yet you are within a bracket of 500,000. Live within your means. Stop copying from Western cultures. Yes? Stop copying, because when you copy from the Western cultures, then you find out that you have a pressure.
Some things are not compatible. Yeah, there's that pressure.
What is not compatible? We're in a modern world now. Like, which things are not compatible?
For example, now let me give an example of LGBT. It's not in our culture, in our context when you look at it. Yes. So now, if you think that I am a man, and you want me to become a woman.
Yes.
Does it make sense? So then, if I don't go for plastic surgery, where do I put my manhood? You see. But someone gets confused and then he's convinced that, even if you're a man, you can become a woman. It's very normal. It's okay. Your genes. I don't believe in that.
You don't?
No.
We were talking about ways in which sometimes some of these agendas, if we can call them, are pushed right through maybe the different soaps that we watch. And there was even a comparison moment whereby something that came out maybe in the early 90s, and if it dared to come out in your favorite soap on TV, you would be so shocked that you would actually maybe even pick up the phone, and your parent would pick up the phone and maybe call the UTV managing director before it even became UBC, or somewhere else, or another media house during that time. Yes, and talk about it. But right now, when that happens in your living room and you are watching, the good thing about Smart 24 TV is we're very clear. We are driving business. Our content is clean. But when you get to flip on another channel and see this sort of thing on another, another platform, what is your immediate reaction?
I think for us as a family, what we've always told our children, we made it very clear that some stations in our house that we don't watch. Or you could be watching maybe a program on that TV. For example, you are watching news and at some point a certain advert passes. But
the adverts?
Yes.
Yes.
But it's not very appropriate. You always tell children, you know what? That is not information. We have nothing to do about it because this is not our TV. This is not our TV station for us. We are just only watching to see what is happening because we want to know, we want to get the other part of life. But for this one, please don't even take it up. So when we see something that is not very appropriate for your children, you as a parent, don't just keep quiet or say, no, wrap it and let it go, because at that point, you have no, the more you switch off and switch on and keep changing without explanation, you're intriguing this child.
To find out what is it that they're hiding.
What is it that they're hiding? So better let that child see and say, you see that person who is very naked. What is your perception?
Yes.
Do you like that? What do you say? Then hear the comments and then try to put things right.
Yes.
If a child says, but you see, like for me, I've always struggled with my children. The way they want, there's a way they like to shave their hair because that's the other people are doing.
Yes.
So I tell them, no, for us, we are the Timramians. We're not like the other
family
person.
values.
The family values. So there are some families which don't have values at all, or they don't have something that is driving them. They don't have their own vision.
Yeah.
And so children can take up anything across them. But first, we have always told our children, this is the Timramians. As Timramians, we believe in this. So this channel is not for us because we are born again.
Yes.
And since we are Christians and committed Christians, and we believe in what the Bible tells us, and we believe in values that are going to shape us to become better, we always tell them, this is not for us, this is for us. Here we go like this is what we do. Even like in schools, there are some children, we have talked of what parents pack for their children. And those who pack very wonderful things for their children daily. Some also get things from Cafe Javas or wherever, but junk things. And we always tell them, for us, yes, let them have those things. They have their own way of living their life, but also us, in our own way, is how we want our lives to be. And it's not about whether you have money or not. You have to stick to your ground and say, it's not about money.
Yes.
It's about what we like as a family. What is good for us as a family. What we feel us as a family is better for us, not for another person. So instill that in your child that as the Timramians, as the Damascus, as the several days, this is our own way of life, and we don't live it like the way Doreen lives her life. Yes, because we are different.
Yes.
We have different visions, we have different missions, we have different ambitions. So we can never be the same. And
this, when you come up with your family values, they sort of like hinge, you give you a foundation. You cannot be thrown by everything that that comes to you. Let's talk about something. Let's recap a little bit. You mentioned about that teaching moment whereby, for example, you are just all watching, and we know how during, even as I grew up, I can imagine those moments whereby your parents said, switch off, switch off. What is that? What's that? What's that? And you immediately moved away. But right now we are getting into that era whereby it is said, if you don't teach your children about this, someone else will teach them. And you don't know what they will teach them.
Yes.
So talk to your children and teach them as often as possible. Now imagine that there is an erotic scene or a scene that is not really child appropriate. And you have decided, Mr. Tumrami, that you're going to leave this scene there so that you can use it as a teaching moment. And you're getting to talk to your children about, you see what is happening there, you are now dissecting every angle and saying, now what is your opinion on this? In one way or another, aren't you deadening this child? Desensitizing, yes, but aren't you also deadening this child to this sort of scene that is there? So that the next time the kid will see it, will be like, I remember what we talked about. The next time the child maybe sees it being done in practice, they will not even be that shocked. They will not be shocked into some action. Aren't you in one way or another deadening this child?
I want that as we are doing that, also, when we are also talking to our children to begin with, you also have to consider their age. So if this information you're trying to explain and give is age appropriate, and some things don't have to go into details. And maybe if you said it's the worst and it's going to cause more harm to the child at that particular moment, you can cause some distraction.
Yes.
Maybe you divert their attention from watching as you tell them, okay, look at me as I tell you this. As the other thing is passing.
Okay.
You get my point?
Yes.
So you must look for ways of, look at the impact it's going to have on the child, the harm it's going to cause your child.
Yeah.
And say and see if at that moment you can't quickly switch off the TV, or you can't quickly turn off change the channel. How do you manage? And if you said the child can get glued on that thing, then tell them that, you know what, that is not good for you. You don't even have to watch. So you can divert their attention and they focus on you than focusing on the what?
Yes.
On that advert. But remember that.
And they are, from the side of their eye, because
Yes.
you know how kids can be crafty.
Like this.
They'll be trying to see there.
And remember, tomorrow they're going to watch it even when you're not there. Because it will always come.
Yes,
and today they have watched it on smart TV, but tomorrow that same advert might be on NBS.
Yes.
It might be on another channel.
Yeah.
So now, and you have no control over certain things. So that's why I'm saying that you'd rather give information. And so you see that advert you see, it is now around. We have seen some many adverts which are not
appropriate.
Especially adverts which are promoting alcohol, especially like in Western Uganda.
Yeah.
There are so many alcoholic drinks which are being promoted with bad words, kombucha, what those words. So you wonder, now what do I do? You can't stop the adverts because every after like 10 minutes,
It goes
comes,
on.
It goes on.
Yes.
So what do? If there are bad dances, what do you tell your children? You let them watch and you keep saying, but don't watch what bad dances. No, explain.
Explain.
This is not good for you. You would rather, when it starts, you'd rather go away than watching it, because the more you watch it, the more you harm your mind, and the more you can even be attracted to it. So give them information which you know that can give them instruction, and or maybe they can appreciate.
To question.
Yes,
to question.
And we actually, as we're talking about ethics.
Yes, you
in our
must
society,
question.
There's that lack of questioning. What is happening? Is this good or bad?
Yes.
Is it right or not? Is it at the right time, in the right place, with the right person? So that questioning is what we always miss.
Start from as early as possible.
As possible.
To put it within your child, to question things, not just taking things
For
as they
granted
are.
or as they are.
To question.
Yes.
And now remember, we are staying in that society, whereby very traditional society, and you still have those sentiments there, where they would tell you, don't talk back to an adult.
Yes.
Just don't, even in the classrooms, do not ask your teacher. Take my word, just do as I say.
That's why they are now having a lot of sexual harassment and even in families. For me, I have trained my children, especially I have one girl who is now 9 years and in P4. I have told her, if any adult touches
Bad touches.
in a way you feel you're not comfortable, don't keep quiet.
Talk.
Even if it's a teacher, because now we don't know what the intention and how far it will go, because people are no longer feeling ashamed. That consciousness has got out of people's mind.
Yes.
People have gone crazy. To the extent that I had never heard that a father can sleep with his daughter, and his daughter becomes like a wife. We hear these cases now and then.
And it shocks you to the core.
To the point you're like, can this imagine? Can even? Okay, I was going to say, can the man even function at that time? Can the man even come up? You get my point.
Clearly,
Things happen. So I am thinking that you, as a parent, talk to your children. Tell them this is how like bad touches. Tell them in a way that you will understand. Not go so much into deep to demonstrate.
Yeah.
But tell them if someone touches you here, someone touches you like this, if someone comes to give you a peck, as who? Be cautious. If someone tries to go deeper where you don't feel comfortable, make an alarm, report, don't keep quiet. Even if it's a maid, because now we know even the people that we bring in our houses,
Yes,
they are not
yes.
safe because you don't know their character. So we tell you that we tell our children, even a visitor who comes and is trying to tell you, sit on my laps, then the visitor is trying to hold you more than what you could expect.
Yes.
Come and report.
Yeah.
Because now we are putting that consciousness in them. They should know anything can happen. So do not keep quiet and tell your children what should they do when.
Yes.
Teach them to speak for themselves. Teach them to express their feelings, their emotions, even when a child is going through something. Because now we know the issues of depression and mental health are increasingly happening in our society all around without knowing even how it's happening. And consciously, indirectly, things are happening. But you try to teach them, learn how to express yourself and especially tell us your feelings. If you're not feeling comfortable, tell us. And by the way, for parents, I want to tell you that if your child comes and says, Daddy, you have done this to me, I don't feel happy. It doesn't cost you anything to say, I am sorry, my child. When we were growing up, that was, how could you,
taboo.
How can a parent say, I'm sorry to you? That's disrespect. But these days, things are happening. Because our children are so much exposed, they understand these things, they're even more knowledgeable than even some of us. So it's better to tell them that, you know what, I am sorry that I did this to you. Can we do it better? And then you negotiate. You know, by the way, for me, I believe in communication. In a democratic parenting style, talk to your child, agree, even if you're disciplining. It's not about spanking every time. You know, first we are beaten. You do a small mistake,
it was, yes.
But these days, Chiboko may not make sense like those days. Actually, for us, even sometimes your parent would beat you and say,
I'm amused.
I'm not even, I know I'm used to this, so, and then you go out
and do the very same thing they've caned you for.
But these days, you know, there are so many ways of reprimanding
your child.
Correcting. Even talk to and actually ask them to be the ones to suggest the reprimand.
How do we activate this generation, the younger generation, our children? How do we activate them to, okay, fine, we have moved from one point, that is the point of awareness, that, you know what, this is wrong. Stealing this money is wrong. This bad touch is wrong. Having someone disrespect you in this manner is wrong. Then you come down, question. Actually, the first is questioning. Is this correct? Is this wrong? Then now you move on to the other part where you now begin, you have your boundaries and you know that this person has overpassed this. Now, once all that has been, you know, compounded, once all that has now is clear and you know for sure, this person here is asking me for this carpet interview. It is wrong. This person is, we are here at an interview, but I don't like the way, it makes me uncomfortable with this sort of touch. It is wrong. You've already decided. This person here is asking me for that commission. Be wise, be clever. That is how they position out these things. Yes? You follow what everyone is doing. If you want the job, do so like I am saying. Your mind has been triggered. It is wrong. How do we transition from all that awareness now to the action? Because a lot of Ugandans are still stuck in that awareness of, okay, atemnai nkole ntia. Yes, they never transition to the next point of, let me take, it is my right. It is my right not to participate in this carpet interview. It is my right to have this water here really at my access so that I can have clean drinking water. It is my right to be able to have this medicine, this paracetamol when I get out there. It is my right to have ABCD. How do they transition from that point to the action?
We've talked now about awareness.
Yes.
Then also, us as parents, we need to be examples. We must lead by example. You know, children are like monkeys. Monkeys see and do.
Yes.
So even children do see and do because they imitate. And another thing is we are the first primary teachers of our children.
True.
We are their champions in their lives. So much of what they see around us, they think that's the way to go. So the way you dress up as a parent, the way you speak your words, the way you and your spouse manage your family affairs, the way you walk around in the house, the way you interact with each other in the house, children are observing.
And they're learning.
They are learning and they're appreciating what is good. So if you're doing something good, then they're also learning and appreciating. If it's something bad, just know they are also taking it, but which is wrong. So be a very good example. Teach your children to set boundaries. Have boundaries around them. Knowing that this is how much far I can go. This is what I should do, and this is what I shouldn't do. So that children know the clear expectations in the house, at home. For example, why would you be a father and your child comes back at home at 10 p.m. and then you're comfortable with it? How? If your child is old, if you can't go and rent your own house and have your freedom there,
yes.
as long as you're still in my own house, I have rules.
There's only one head here.
Yes, there's only one head. So be clear about it. Don't feel shy about it. By this time, all of us must be in the house.
Yeah.
If not, you're going to be late. Even if you're working and not, you're going to be late. Call.
And
if I can take the responsibility of calling your mom and say, you know what, my sweetheart, I'm going to be late because of ABCD. You, as a child, why can't you call us as your parents and you explain? So even you parents also put rules and regulations in your house, which are, and make sure that you're consistent. Let there always be open dialogues in the house. If things are not going very well, you can either talk to an individual or you can talk to as a house and say, by the way, is there something that is happening here?
Yeah.
How do you go about it? Don't be shy. And by the way, even if your children are still very young, engage them. Like for us, our children, we have engaged them to the extent that even when we have functions at home, they're the ones who are always in charge. You have a birthday party, you have our anniversary celebrations, you have visitors have come and you want them to lead praise and worship or to pray for them. Put them in charge. Our first born is in senior 1 now.
Yes.
And our second born is in P6, and then in P4. But even when all of them were still young, we've trained them to come up like that.
to be more outspoken, to take leadership.
Yes.
Once they get into other, because these are real
We
life
even have a
situations.
government in our house. It's money government, and they have their role, their responsibility on those.
I can imagine who is the president.
Yeah, now, now the second born now is the president. At first was the first born, now it's the second born.
Yes. Oh,
yes.
The terms. The terms of office change.
Yeah. So, have that kind of thing. But also, you as a parent, I want to urge you, because we are looking at how best can you make sure that your children are ethically conscious,
yes,
and they are morally upright. Teach them to know God. I want to assure you, for me, what has helped me is to know God. And because of knowing God, even the word of God, I've always told our children that in all circumstances, believe in God. We have always told them that failures are part of life. We've shown them instances where Christ cried, even when he was the Son of God. But he cried when he went to Lazarus' home. When Lazarus was dead, he cried. When he was going to be crucified, he said, "God, why have you forsaken me?"
Yes.
So we told them that those feelings always come of mistrust, doubt of yourself and what. But always also remind them that Philippians 4:13 says, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me."
Yes.
And all things does not mean the wrong things. It means everything, but only good things.
Let's even talk about, as we are pushing for action, as we are pushing for transitioning from just awareness and getting to know that, yes, I've set my boundaries, let me move over. One of the things that have been most bringing back, that tend to pull back the Christian folk and those Africans especially at large, is the fact that they, in most cases, rely so heavily on their religious background. They are waiting for retribution. They are waiting for the divine aspects to intervene, and then they negate themselves from any action. You see? You know that your pastor is stealing because your pastor comes every day in that particular prado, that you are failing to even pay fees. You are waiting for God to punish him because you cannot call him to book. You come to your MP said ABCD, members of parliament, yes? That they are going to do ABCD, they're going to put that health, make sure that they rally so that there is ABCD within this district. You go back and you fast and you pray, instead of calling him to book or calling her to book. Where is that point between action and religious belief? The belief that indeed, I believe in a divine God, I believe in a God of justice, I believe in a God who wants things to move properly. But I also have a role to play. Yes. We must talk about this,
yes,
because we cannot keep in denial.
I think what is killing our society and why our society has become so much rotten, that we lack that moment of asking for accountability, for the culprits to take action, or to be held responsible for their actions.
Yeah.
And of course, even in Uganda, and I think also another challenge that somehow in Uganda, much as we are talking of freedom of expression, but there's a lot of suppression as well. The suppression as well. That takes that even when the police knows that someone should come and inform you that they want to do this, for you want to enforce it in the other way around. Yeah. And there's a lot of favoritism in our society. To the extent that even when you see things happening, push on. Push on. Do not just give up. So I think the aspect of religion, parents should know that yes, God blesses those who, you know, the Bible says that those who do not work should not eat. Yes. And also Proverbs chapter 6 talks about the ant. Go to the ant and learn how it makes food, how it works. So we must teach our children that these things that we are seeing, you must take an action. If something is not going on very well, or if things are going abnormally, speak out. Stand on your ground and be principled. Because it also says, to whom much is given, much is required. Much is required. Yes. But also our children should know that yes, much as we have rights, there's also an issue of responsibility. Yes, you have this right, but what is your responsibility? It's your right to go to school. And I must pay you school fees to go to school. But it's your responsibility to read. I will not read on your behalf. Yes. So all these are things that we should be addressing. So for the people who are not speaking out and becoming firm on their statements and standing for their ground and becoming men and women of integrity, that the people are killing our society. If you don't want to speak out and things are getting worse and say, being quite kowa.
You're being irresponsible.
Yes, those things are for other people. For me, I'm still very far. Maybe it's for the other groups, for the other clan, for the other society. Whether the active or inactive things will come back and happen to all of us at the end of the day. So we must speak out, but also we must take an action. We must also ask the people who are responsible to be held accountable. And I think that's what is happening, is missing in our government. Because you see, someone has stolen money, but then you see the kind of
the laxity and the
in
ways.
taking action. I think that's what is killing us morally. And so even our children are observing it, but now, because like when these kinds of corruption were happening and MPs were taken to Brazil and brought back to court and but it seems now corruption is a good thing to go, and after that's how people are getting money and becoming rich.
Yes.
I was like, then this is becoming serious.
Yes.
So and if a child makes that statement, you can't just keep quiet. You must say no, that's not how things are done.
Yeah.
But if they're also seeing you bring money and you're putting it under your bed,
and you even say you get a bundle,
you come and carry and take the bundle. And then you don't feel ashamed. And then you're also taking a video to show us the world. What kind of society is this we are living in?
Dickson Tumramye, we have learned quite a lot from you. I think we need to be vocal. We need not just pass on this information to our children, wherever they are, from as early as possible. Draw those boundaries. Let them learn how to draw those boundaries. Get into a moment where we are living these lives straight from home, not preaching one thing and then doing another thing. Yes? And then also move on to that part. Be able to transition to action. Let your child know that there is a responsibility that he has, because I also have this responsibility and I'm doing my part. We need to have ethically responsive and ethically conscious citizens, but we all start from home. Please do your part.
Because charity begins from home.
Charity begins from home. So does teaching, so does action, so does ethical consciousness and responsiveness as well. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're most welcome.
We wish you well and continue to rally for others as well.
You're most welcome.
This has been Business Insight here at Smart 24 TV. Please join us as well every Monday to Friday on these different people that on these particular pertinent issues that we get to raise and have some insight on every day, Monday to Friday from 9 to 10. Until tomorrow, I've been Kim Chadarin taking you through. Thank you so much and bye-bye.